Hello, listeners. Today I want to do a pitch about my water kettle. It's actually a water heater, not a kettle. Proctor Silex. It's $15 on Amazon. This is something, honestly, that every single college kid should have. Every single one. My mom actually bought it, thinking that it was one of those water kettles that you flip the thing and it heats the water, and then it'll turn itself off when the water's boiled. Well, this is different. This is actually for boiling things. This is actually for making food. So I'm going to talk about some pros and some cons, even though there aren't very many, and why you should definitely invest in one of these, especially if you're a starving college student. It's a water boiler, and every college kid knows that ramen is pretty much on our diet. It's the staple of our diet, practically. And what you do is you fill it with water. You plug it in. There's actually not an on button, which is possibly one of the cons. I think it should have an on button. Several times I've plugged it in thinking, oh, I've plugged it in. I haven't turned it on yet. And then I turn around and my water's boiling. I'm like, holy cow. You turn it on, and it has a warm setting and a boil setting, and anywhere in between. And honestly, it's all really hot. It'll boil on warm. That's probably one of the cons as well. But the pros are definitely that it's fast. I can plug it in. I'll have my water in there ready for my ramen to boil. I will walk to my bathroom, wash my hands, come back, and the water is boiling. No joke. Honestly, no joke. So, fast. It is compact. Look how easy. It weighs nothing at all. And it's actually really easy to clean. Just don't submerge this part in water because you could get electrocuted. It's really easy to clean, and there's honestly, other than the fact that there's not an on button, and because it heats up so fast, depending on what you're making, I really like to make penne pasta in it, the really short little thick noodles, and I'll boil them in water for about 11 to 12 minutes until they get soft, and then I'll heat up my Alfredo sauce in this. And if I don't watch my Alfredo sauce, the Alfredo sauce will actually burn because it's a hot plate at the bottom. Just like a hot plate. There's a ramen noodle in there. But it's just a hot plate sitting at the bottom. So if you leave something in there without stirring it long enough, it'll cake to the bottom, and that's kind of a problem. But as long as you stir it, and as long as you remember that there's not an on button, there really is no con to this thing. $15 on Amazon for so much food that you never thought you'd be able to have in a college dorm room. When I knew that I wasn't gonna have when I knew I wasn't gonna have a stove, I love pasta, and I was having withdrawals from my pasta, and then I started to use this because I just thought it was for soup, and then I figured, well, why not? So I tried it, and it worked. So I will never go back to being a starving college student because I can now have rice and pasta and couscous and soup and ramen. Gotta love that ramen.